In the heart of the Atacama Desert, a place known for its stark and silent beauty, old stories have persisted for generations. They are not stories of conquest or kings, but of something far more profound. Local elders speak of the Santuario del Silencio, the Sanctuary of Silence. They say it was a place built not by human hands but by those who understood the music of the stars. These tales were often dismissed as folklore, the romantic dreams of a people living in isolation. A comforting myth to explain the strange magnetic anomalies and eerie hum when desert winds blew just right. The legends described a temple made of material that shimmered like captured moonlight. It was said to have been a gateway, a point of connection between our world and another. The people who built it did not die but simply left. They returned to the sky from whence they came, leaving their sanctuary to be swallowed by the sands, a silent guardian of forgotten wisdom. For centuries these stories were all that remained. It was a place that lived only in memory. But what if a myth is more than just a story? What if it is a memory, fragmented and distorted by the immense passage of time? The local communities have always treated certain areas as sacred, believing these grounds hold powerful energy. They warned outsiders away, not out of hostility, but out of deep-seated reverence and protective instinct. They were guarding a secret whose true significance was about to shock the entire world. This is where our story begins, not with a treasure map but with a whisper that traveled through millennia, refusing to be silenced. The Sanctuary of Silence was waiting. It had been waiting for someone to listen closely enough, to look past the veil of legend and see the incredible truth that lay buried just beneath the surface. A truth that would challenge everything we thought we knew about our own past. The year is 2025. Dr. Eris Thorne was not looking for a lost temple. He was studying climate change patterns recorded in ancient soil layers. His project was scientific, methodical, yet he was a man who listened. He spent evenings talking with local guides. An old man mentioned a valley where compasses would spin wildly, where sand would glow on moonless nights. Intrigued by the anomalies described, Thorne diverted his survey team. He brought in ground-penetrating radar equipment to map subterranean formations. Most colleagues thought it a waste of time, a detour into fantasy. They scanned the valley floor expecting only dense mineral deposits or odd rock. For days the screens showed nothing but expected layers of sand and sedimentary rock. The team's morale began to wane under the relentless desert heat. Then, it happened. A junior technician, idly watching the radar feed, called out. At first it looked like a glitch, a bizarre error in the data. They recalibrated and scanned again. The image became clearer. It was not a natural formation. Deep beneath the desert floor, the radar painted impossible geometry. Perfect right angles, sweeping curves. A massive, symmetrical structure lay buried 30 meters down. The team stood in stunned silence. What they were looking at was not a rock. It was a building. Excitement erupted across the remote outpost. Dr. Thorne immediately contacted authorities. The news spread like wildfire through academia, kept under strict media blackout. Something extraordinary was hidden in that valley. The myths looked less like folklore and more like a faded blueprint. The excavation was an undertaking of monumental proportions. It began not with bulldozers but with brushes and trowels. An international team assembled. Archaeologists, engineers, conservation specialists, all bound by wonder. The first major milestone was simply reaching the structure. Tons of sand and rock had to be carefully removed, layer by layer, in a process that took months. Each grain of sand was sifted, each rock fragment catalogued. They were peeling back the layers of time itself, moving cautiously toward the unknown. As the uppermost parts were exposed, the team's astonishment grew. The building was made of a polished, obsidian-like stone that seemed to drink in the harsh desert sunlight. It was a material none of the geologists had seen before. It was something engineered, impossibly smooth, with seams nearly invisible to the naked eye. Massive, curved panels fit together with the precision of a modern spacecraft. The architecture was fluid and organic, breathtakingly advanced. It was as if the builders had sculpted the very rock with light and sound. Deeper into the excavation they uncovered the first inscriptions, not pictographs but intricate, flowing symbols, arranged in complex mathematical patterns, etched with unerring precision. Within the temple's antechambers, sealed and stable, the team found objects that defied logic. Crystalline spheres that, when touched, emitted soft, colored light in shifting patterns. Metallic sheets, thin as paper but impossible to bend or scratch, covered in strange inscriptions. Perhaps most startling was a large central chamber where a detailed model of the solar system was suspended in the air. The planets, crafted from unknown gemstones, slowly orbited a central, softly glowing sphere. This was not a primitive temple, it was something far, far more. The architectural design of the Sanctuary of Silence presented an immediate challenge to our understanding of the ancient world. Established timelines suggest civilizations built with wood, stone, mud brick. They used brute force, simple machines, immense manpower. Yet, this temple was different. The walls were not merely stacked, they were composed of vast interlocking panels, some weighing upwards of 100 tons. How were these massive pieces quarried, transported across the desert, lifted into place with perfect alignment? There were no tool marks, no chisels, no hammers. It was as if the stone had been poured into a mold. The material science was just as baffling. Analysis revealed a crystalline structure that was not natural, a form of silicon quartz synthetically altered at a molecular level, creating a substance with the hardness of diamond, and a unique energy-conducting property. When exposed to certain frequencies, the walls would vibrate and emit a resonant hum, the very sound mentioned in the ancient local legends. The idea that an ancient culture could engineer materials at a molecular level is impossible. It would require a grasp of physics and chemistry we have only just begun to master. The temple's internal layout seemed designed for more than worship. Its curved hallways acted as resonance chambers, amplifying sound and light in peculiar ways. The central dome was a perfect paraboloid focusing energy to a single point, where the floating model of the solar system was found. Engineers concluded the entire structure was a massive, finely tuned machine. But what was its purpose? Observatory, power plant, communication device? The design incorporated sacred geometry, the golden ratio, fractal patterns, applied with a level of sophistication that was simply staggering for its supposed age. This forces us to ask, were our ancestors far more advanced than we believed? Or is there another explanation? The temple suggests a massive gap in our historical record, a lost branch of human development, a civilization that peaked and vanished, leaving this single silent testament to their genius. The sanctuary doesn't just add a page, it demands we reconsider the entire volume of civilization. Inside the temple, the mystery only deepened. The artifacts were not the tools, pottery, or simple ornaments we usually associate with ancient sites. Each object seemed to be a piece of a technological puzzle far beyond our comprehension. In one chamber, archaeologists found a series of thin, metallic plates, lighter than aluminum but stronger than titanium. When a weak electrical current was passed through them, the strange inscriptions began to glow. More astonishingly, when placed in a specific sequence, the plates would project a three-dimensional holographic image, a star chart of breathtaking complexity and detail. Another chamber, nicknamed the Garden Room, contained no organic matter, but walls covered in panels that simulated a living ecosystem. Touching a panel would cause images of unknown plants to bloom and fade. Strange insect-like creatures would crawl across the surface. The entire display would respond to the researcher's presence, changing colors and patterns. It was not a screen as we know it, but a dynamic surface that seemed to be alive. It was a library of alien biology, an interactive display of a world no human had ever seen. The technology was so advanced that it felt less like archaeology and more like science fiction. Perhaps the most enigmatic artifacts were the crystalline spheres. Found in niches along the main corridor, these perfect orbs appeared inert, but they responded to human consciousness. When a researcher focused on a specific thought or emotion, calmness, curiosity, confusion, the sphere would respond by glowing with a corresponding color and emitting a soft, tonal frequency. They were not just lights, they appeared to be some form of empathic or telepathic interface, a communication device that worked not with words or symbols, but with pure thought. The implications are staggering, suggesting the builders had a profound understanding of consciousness itself. These objects challenge our understanding of what technology is. We think of technology in terms of machines, circuits, and power sources. But the artifacts seem to be based on a different paradigm altogether. They integrate energy, consciousness, and matter. They are elegant, silent, and powerful. They do not have buttons or switches, they simply are. The inscriptions found throughout the sanctuary are perhaps the greatest puzzle of all. The script is composed of over 10,000 unique symbols, a lexicon far larger than any known ancient language. Traditional methods of decipherment proved useless. There was no Rosetta Stone, no recognizable name or word to provide a foothold. The symbols were a complex mix of elegant geometric forms and mathematical formulae. Linguists and cryptographers from around the world were stumped. The script bore no resemblance to any known language. For months, the silent walls held their secrets, the message locked away in a language utterly alien to human thought. It was a beautiful but frustrating code that held the answers to everything. This is where the future met the past. A new experimental branch of artificial intelligence was brought in. The AI, named Echo, wasn't for simple translation. It was a neural network built to recognize conceptual patterns. It analyzed relationships between symbols, their frequency, their positioning in the temple, and proximity to architectural features. Echo didn't try to assign words, it searched for underlying logic, the mathematical and geometric grammar of the system. After weeks of processing, Echo found a breakthrough. It identified recurring patterns not linguistic but scientific. Some symbol strings mapped to atomic structures of elements. Other phrases depicted the laws of thermodynamics, others matched electromagnetism. The temple's language was pure science, a universal lexicon of cosmic principles. The builders weren't just writing poetry or recording history, they were describing the fabric of reality itself. Full translation is ongoing, but the revealed fragments are mind-altering. The inscriptions describe space-time, quantum entanglement, the nature of consciousness. They contain astronomical data of stunning accuracy, charts of star systems millions of light-years away. They even include a warning, a complex equation tied to stellar decay and a cyclical cosmic event. The sanctuary's language is more than record, it's a user's manual for the universe. It suggests the builders weren't merely advanced, they were masters of physical law. And they chose to inscribe knowledge not on perishable scrolls, but into the very stone of their eternal temple. The discoveries at the Sanctuary of Silence are sending shockwaves through every field of human knowledge. Historians and archaeologists are faced with a civilization that, according to our established timelines, should not exist. Radiocarbon dating places its construction at approximately 12,000 BCE, thousands of years before the rise of Sumer, Egypt, any other known first civilization. It predates the invention of writing, metallurgy, agriculture as we understand it. To find a structure this sophisticated from that era is like finding a jet engine in the tomb of a pharaoh. It simply does not fit. The technological implications are even more profound. The temple suggests a highly advanced scientific culture flourished during the last ice age. Mastered material science, energy manipulation, astronomy to a degree we are only now approaching. This idea completely upends the traditional narrative of human progress. It suggests another path was taken, a path of immense intellectual achievement lost to time, preserved only as faint myths. This forces us to ask new and unsettling questions. Did they leave the planet? Did they succumb to a natural disaster, or did they simply retreat? The absence of any other sites is a profound mystery. It's as if they built one perfect monument and then vanished. The very concept of ancient history is being redefined. The sanctuary is not just another ruin, it's a mirror reflecting a past we never knew. It shows human potential may be far greater and more ancient than we imagined. Innovation, genius, a deep understanding of the cosmos. These may be recurring themes in our story. Cycles of rising and falling knowledge, a lost branch of human development, a civilization that peaked and vanished, leaving this single silent testament to their genius. The pages of our history books are not just being rewritten, entire chapters we never knew existed are being inserted. The sanctuary doesn't just add a page, it demands we reconsider the entire volume and question what we think we know about the dawn of civilization, forcing us to see ourselves in a completely new light. The discovery of the Sanctuary of Silence is more than an archaeological find. It is the dawn of a new era of exploration. It has ignited a global passion for uncovering the lost chapters of human history. This is not a quest for gold or glory, but for knowledge. It is a search for a deeper understanding of who we are and what we are capable of. The temple is a testament to the boundless potential of human ingenuity, a beacon shining across the millennia, reminding us that we have a legacy far grander than we ever knew. It inspires us to look at our world with fresh eyes, to see every desert, every ocean floor, every ancient myth as a potential clue to a forgotten past. This quest is being powered by technologies that the temple's builders might have appreciated. International teams of scientists are collaborating in real time, sharing data through global networks. Advanced dating techniques using cosmic ray exposure, magnetic field analysis, are allowing us to pinpoint the age of artifacts with unprecedented accuracy. Drones and satellite imaging are scanning the most remote corners of the planet, searching for anomalies that might indicate other hidden sites. The same spirit of scientific inquiry that is encoded on the temple walls is now being used to unlock its secrets, creating a beautiful symmetry between the past and the present. The story of the Sanctuary of Silence is ultimately an uplifting one. It does not diminish our own achievements, it enriches them. It connects us to a lineage of genius that stretches back into the mists of prehistory. It suggests that the drive to understand the universe, to create beauty, and to push the boundaries of what is possible, is a fundamental part of the human spirit. The temple is a message of hope. It tells us that even if a civilization falls, its ideas can endure. It tells us that knowledge is the most resilient thing we can create, capable of surviving for eons, waiting for the right minds to rediscover it. What else lies hidden beneath our feet, waiting to be found? The sanctuary has proven that the age of discovery is far from over. Our planet may still hold secrets that will reshape our identity and our destiny. The past is not a dead and dusty thing, it is a living, breathing mystery, full of unread messages and untold stories. As we continue to decode the language of the stars left for us in the Atacama Desert, we are not just learning about a lost civilization. We are learning about ourselves, and about the incredible, enduring power of the human quest for knowledge. The future of our past has just begun.